You know what? I should probably turn the breaker off first before messing with this. Oh man, I have no idea which one it is. Well, I guess it wasn't that one. I guess it wasn't that one either.
Dad!
Sorry, I have no idea which one is for the kitchen. So if you guys ever had this problem, or you've had to rearrange your breakers and the labels were all messed up, or maybe you just bought your house like this, which for us it's both. Well, today we're gonna help solve that problem. We're gonna use two tools that we got on Amazon. The links are below for them. One is the Klein Tools wire finder, and the other is the Dymo label maker. These things are gonna be instrumental in helping us to map out our panel. We're gonna show you how to use each one of these and how we use them to label our panel so we don't have to deal with that ever again. The other thing that we're gonna be doing is creating a small map that we're gonna put on the inside of the electrical panel, so that way we can easily reference every single outlet and light in the house and be able to target those super quickly to be able to turn them off in the future. So to get started, we're gonna take our wire finder here. We're gonna unplug the transmitter portion, which looks like this. Have you ever seen a plug continuity tester? It's exactly the same thing, except it transmits a signal that the receiver can detect. So we'll go ahead and plug it into our outlet we're trying to find. And as you can tell, it does have the two lights on here indicating that it is wired correctly, and it is now transmitting all of that sound to the breaker box where we can use the receiver to identify it. The other thing I'm gonna do is grab our iPad. You could use an iPad, another computer, something like that, just where you can set up a video-to-video connection with your phone. I'm gonna go ahead and get that set up on Google Meet. And once it's going, I'm gonna face it towards the breaker so that I can see the two lights in the video stream. Then what I can do is I can take my phone outside and watch it from out there to see when I turn it off, just to confirm that I got the right circuit breaker. So we'll go outside and do the rest of it. So now to use the receiver end of this piece, we're gonna come to our panel. We're gonna press the on button for a couple of seconds, and it will turn on and start beeping, and the green light will be on. Now you gotta do two passes of your breakers. That's super important here. So you're gonna do one pass to kind of train the receiver, and then a second pass to identify. So we'll do our train pass first. You'll hear a lot of beeping and different noises. Don't worry, none of it's correct. Okay? And then we will go down a second time. And you can kind of hear where it starts beeping a lot, as well as when it kind of changes in tone a bit. So in this case, number 25 is gonna be my outlet. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and switch this off. And then I will look at my phone here. And sure enough, on our Google Meets app here, the light is off on the plug. So we got the correct breaker. After that point, I'm gonna take my little handwritten map that I got, and I made a copy of it first, and I'm gonna write down 25 on that. So to get the rest of the house, I'm just gonna go around and do that for all of the plugs in the house and go from there. Well, that is pretty much it for finding each and every outlet in the house. The next thing we're gonna do is grab our label maker. This Dymo Rhino 4200 is about 60 bucks, but it is the best label maker you will ever own. I love this thing, and it works for so many things like taping Ethernet wires or breaker panels, and it's all built into this, and I'll show you exactly what I mean right now. So for example, our first breaker. So you can do all of the breakers all at once, and it'll just take a minute to get it all programmed and print it out in one long strip. I'm not gonna do that just to save some time, but I am gonna label the first two here just to give you an example. So as you can see, the first one is the air conditioner, and that's a double pole. So what we're going to do is turn on the unit first. Then we're gonna hit the breaker button. It'll ask for your breaker height. In this case, 1/2 inch is the standard. And then you're gonna enter in however many breakers you wanna do. In this case, I'm gonna do 3, and I'll tell you why in a second, even though we're only really doing 2. So, number of poles for breaker 1. So the reason why we're doing 3 is because it won't do 4. Basically, each of these breakers are programmed to be 2. And so since it's a dual pole breaker, it's technically 4, but it won't do that. So I just calculated it as 1 breaker, 2 breaker, and then the 3rd. So for the first breaker, I'm gonna say that it has 2 poles. For the second breaker, which is the second one below this, I'm gonna say 2 poles as well. And then on the third one, it's actually going to have 1 pole. And then I click OK, and then it will ask, do you want to print empty breakers? And you want to say yes. Now, it'll give you a screen like this, which is just an empty, boxes where you can type stuff in. So for the first one, we're not gonna put anything in there because that's the part of the first one, So we'll move over, arrow over to the second spot. Here, we're going to, wow, didn't want to stay open. Here, we're gonna actually type in 2 because that's the order of the breakers, and then a return. And then we're gonna type in there air conditioning, or at least an abbreviation so we understand that. I'm gonna do air con, because that's what fits. Then we'll arrow over to the third breaker spot. And the third breaker spot is going to be for the fire, and then sprinkler. Now, we're gonna click OK and print. Cool. That was pretty simple. And then all you're gonna do is take this strip that you got and you'll remove the backing from it. And you will attach it up here. And there you can tell that you'll see exactly what each one of these is for without a question or a shadow of a doubt. And then what I'll do is I'll take, for example, the number, these don't really work, but say for example, Ella's bedroom, that breaker, is actually labeled number 25. So what I can go ahead and do on the map that I'm gonna basically laminate, put underneath here for storage, and I'm gonna put 25 next to all the outlet symbols in her room. So that way we can tell by both ways, either just by looking at the label on the breaker itself that 25 is her room, or we can look at the map and say, oh, it's 25, and then go directly to 25. So if I needed to turn off this outlet in the kitchen, all I'd have to do is go out to the breaker box. And now I know that that outlet is number 25 because 25 says Ella's bedroom, as well as the map has 25 listed on it for that room. So I can just flip off the breaker here and be good. So that's pretty much it. Yes, it can be slightly tedious getting all the breakers identified, but once you do it that once, you never have to do it again for this house. It's all labeled, super easy, and you're gonna save so much time in the long run, it's ridiculous. So it's well worth the cost of these items. So the wire finder itself, this guy was about 50 bucks, as well as the label maker was also about 50 or 60 bucks. Like I said though, this will be the last label maker you will ever need. And you can get both of these in the description below, and that helps out the channel quite a bit. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all, feel free to put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Also, we are opening up our merch store again, so you will see below this video some of the different merch ideas. Feel free to check them out and get one if you so desire. We also have memberships open up now where you can get early access to videos, members only chats, discounts to merchandise, early access to videos. Did I say that? I can't remember. Anywho, make sure to check it out below. There's a ton of different affordable plans. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time. Fudge, monkey. Sorry, a dirt storm or something. Of course, they're doing like search and rescue training around our house right now. Lots of helicopters today.